In today's video, we're doing a full recap of the significant changes to the UK's indefinite leave to remain and immigration rules that are set to take effect from July 22nd, 2025. The UK government has published a new Statement of Changes in Immigration Rules, rolling out the first phase of reforms from its landmark immigration white paper. These changes are designed to create an immigration system that prioritises growth while tackling net migration and reducing the UK's dependency on overseas labour. The impact on both migrant workers and their sponsors will be significant. So whether you're an applicant, a sponsor, or just keeping an eye on UK immigration policy, this video is for you. We'll break down what's changing, who it affects, and what you need to do to prepare. Let's start with one of the most substantial changes, the skilled worker visa route. From July 22nd, 2025, the government is raising the minimum skills threshold for eligible occupations. Previously, a job needed to be at a skill level equivalent to A levels, or what's known as Regulated Qualifications Framework, RQF Level 3. Now this is being increased to RQF Level 6, which is the equivalent of a bachelor's degree. This is a significant jump and effectively returns the threshold to its pre-2020 level. What does this mean in practice? It means that a large number of roles will no longer qualify for sponsorship under the skilled worker route. In fact, this change will lead to a reduction of around 180 eligible occupations. This will have a major impact on employers wishing to sponsor migrant workers in roles that are below degree level. Sectors like hospitality, logistics, construction, and certain areas of health and social care will feel this change keenly. Now, if you're already in the UK on a skilled worker visa, you might be breathing a sigh of relief. The government has put transitional arrangements in place. If you hold a skilled worker visa or have a certificate of sponsorship issued before July 22nd, 2025, you can continue to be sponsored in an occupation that is below the new RQF Level 6 threshold. These individuals will be able to extend their visas, change employment, and even take on supplementary work in occupations below the new skill level, as long as they meet the relevant salary thresholds. Alongside the increase in the skills threshold, the government is also increasing the salary requirements for several work visa routes. From July 22nd, 2025, the general salary threshold for skilled worker applicants will increase from £38,700 to £41,700 per annum. This is a significant hike and will apply to new applications as well as renewals submitted after this date. There's no transition period for this measure, so employers and applicants need to be prepared for this new financial baseline. For those with a PhD in a subject relevant to their role, the general threshold will also see an increase, rising from £34,830 to £37,500. These increases are in line with the latest data from the Office for National Statistics Annual Survey of Hours and Earnings. It's important to note that for most applicants under the health and care visa who are paid according to national pay scales, the salary threshold remains at £25,000, or their relevant pay scale, whichever is higher. The social care sector is facing one of the most significant reforms. Citing widespread non-compliance and exploitation, the government is closing the overseas recruitment route for care workers and senior care workers from July 22nd, 2025. This means that new applicants from outside the UK will no longer be able to apply for a health and care worker visa for jobs in the adult social care sector. For those already in the UK, there are transitional provisions. Sponsorship for care workers switching from within the UK will remain possible until July 22nd, 2028, but with a new condition. The worker must have been legally employed by the sponsoring employer for at least 3 months before the certificate of sponsorship is issued. This move is part of the government's strategy to encourage the sector to invest in and recruit from the domestic workforce. The new temporary shortage list. Post. To mitigate the impact of the increased skills threshold on certain sectors, the government is introducing a new temporary shortage list, or TSL. This list will include occupations that are crucial to delivering the government's industrial strategy and have experienced long-term shortages, even if they are below the new degree level skill requirement. These roles will be temporarily exempt from the planned increase to the skills threshold until the end of 2026. However, there are some important caveats. Those on the TSL will not be able to bring dependents with them, and they won't receive discounts on visa fees or salaries. The TSL will be reviewed in the spring of 2026, and for a role to remain on the list, the relevant sector will need to demonstrate a plan to develop domestic skills and increase local recruitment. The government has also commissioned the Migration Advisory Committee to conduct a review of this new list, including the occupations, salaries, and benefits associated with it. The future of indefinite leave to remain. Now, let's turn our attention to indefinite leave to remain, or ILR, which is the ultimate goal for many on the path to British citizenship. The government's white paper has proposed some significant changes to the ILR framework, though it's crucial to note that the implementation timeline for these specific changes is not yet confirmed for July 22nd, 2025, but they are on the horizon. The most talked about proposal is the extension of the standard qualifying period for ILR from 5 years to 10 years for most applicants on points-based system routes, like the skilled worker visa. This would also apply to their dependent family members. The government has suggested that there might be an earned settlement approach where individuals could potentially qualify for ILR sooner based on their contributions to the UK economy and society, but the specifics of this are yet to be detailed. It's important to highlight that these proposals do not currently extend to those on a family visa, such as a spouse visa, who would still be able to apply for ILR after a 5-year residence period. The government has indicated that it will consult on these changes before they are implemented, so we can expect more details to emerge later in the year. Other key changes to note. Beyond these major reforms, there are several other changes coming into effect that you should be aware of. Visas. From July 15th, 2025, vignette stickers will no longer be issued for individuals on the skilled worker and global talent routes. Instead, the UK is moving towards a digital system with the issuance of e-visas. This should streamline the application process, as applicants will no longer need to attend a visa application centre multiple times or send their passport for a vignette to be inserted. English language requirements. The government plans to increase the English language requirements across the UK's immigration system for both visa holders and their dependents. For example, the requirement for skilled worker visas is expected to be raised from a B1 to a B2 level on the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. Those seeking settled status will also need to demonstrate a progression to the B2 level. Immigration Skills Charge. The Immigration Skills Charge, which is a fee paid by employers who sponsor skilled workers, is set to be increased by 32%. Graduate visa. The standard length of the graduate visa is expected to be reduced from 2 years to 18 months. EU settlement scheme. For those with pre-settled status under the EU settlement scheme, there's a positive change. From July 16th, 2025, individuals applying for settled status will be eligible if they have been resident in the UK for at least 30 months in total within the most recent 60-month period. This is a change from the current rule, which requires no more than 6 months of absence in any 12-month period. What should you do now? With all these changes on the horizon, what are the key actions that employers and applicants should be taking? For employers, if you have potential new hires or existing employees who need to renew their visas, it is crucial to act quickly. Where possible, issuing certificates of sponsorship before July 22nd, 2025 will allow those applications to be assessed under the current, more lenient rules. You should also review all sponsored roles to ensure they meet the new ARCWEAR F-Level 6 skill threshold and the increased salary requirements. For individuals, if you are planning to apply for a visa that will be affected by these changes, it would be wise to submit your application before the July 22nd deadline, if you are able. So, there you have it, a full recap of the significant changes to UK ILR and immigration rules, beginning July 22nd, 2025. These reforms represent a major overhaul of the UK's immigration system with a clear focus on attracting higher skilled and better paid individuals. The government's aim is to create a more controlled and sustainable immigration system that works in tandem with the domestic labour market. While the transitional provisions offer some protection for those already in the system, the new landscape will undoubtedly be more challenging for many prospective migrants and their sponsors. It is essential to stay informed, as more details, particularly around the proposed changes to ILR, are expected to be released later in the year. We'll be sure to keep you updated on all the latest developments. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our future updates on UK immigration. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and we'll do our best to point you in the right direction. Until next time, take care.